What's up guys, and welcome to the very first episode of my brand new career mode for EA FC 25. Yes, we are back as we begin our RTG with Plymouth Argyle. So here we go, really excited for this new challenge and our next career mode together on EA FC 25. If you're a new viewer to the channel, then I want to welcome you in by saying hello. Hi, my name is Jonah, otherwise known as Docks, and I've been a FIFA/EA FC YouTuber for over 13 years now, beginning way back in 2011. I'm a massive football fan. I've been playing and watching the sport since I was 6 years old, and now at 32, my love for the game continues to be incredibly high. I just took a mini break from uploading videos, but we are back today, and I'll be uploading new episodes of this series every single day. So if you like your career modes uploaded daily, then definitely click that subscribe button, become part of the family here, and join me on this journey as we begin with Plymouth Argyle. So a brief bit of information on Plymouth Argyle if you're not too knowledgeable of English football, then basically it's a side that right now are struggling. They're playing in the second tier of the English football pyramid, that is the EFL Championship, but they are bottom of the division with the worst defensive record in the league as well, and just last week decided to sack their manager, the iconic English and Manchester United striker Wayne Rooney. To make matters worse, they've also just lost Lewis Gibson as well, one of their better young players, so as we do like to do things semi-realistically in our career modes, we'll be looking to sell him as well, as he's just joined division rivals Preston. But it's a side that does have a couple of decent young players. I like Mumba at fullback, Morgan Whittaker as well, Adam Randall too, but there are some seniors in the side as well that will need to be shifted on. As a team right now, bottom of the table, they're not too many points adrift of safety, but most people do predict they will be getting relegated come the end of the season. Our main goal in season 1, give them some much needed stability. So what we like to do in our RTGs is try and develop a nice young core of players that will be here for the long term. So as we look down this list of Plymouth players out there, contract coming at the end of the season, like I said with Lewis Gibson, we will sell him of course to maintain the realism. Andre Gray, I'll also try and sell him as well of course because he's gone. But yeah, it's a side with contract problems. There's not a lot of money here. There's not a lot of quality. I wouldn't actually say they are the worst team in the championship personally. I don't think they're as bad as they've been performing. There is some quality here, but again, it's not a great team, there's no doubt about it. So for the first season, for sure, we need to give them some stability and start to develop a decent young core. Now, in my career modes, youth scouting is incredibly important, and you always start off with a few players in your academy, but what we like to do is get all our players naturally. So the EA gods have blessed me with this Cristiano Ronaldo regen, but unfortunately, because he was given to me, we like to get all our players naturally from the scouting. So yeah, youth scouting is very important. So the first thing we'll be doing with Plymouth is sending our scouts out. And to be honest, with only 3 million in the transfer budget, we probably won't even have enough to hire 2 really good scouts and send them out on missions as well. Thankfully, the EA gods have blessed me with a 5-star scout to begin with. So we'll send him out straight away. And when I'm doing my youth scouting, because this year there are so many new nations to scout, what we have been looking to do in EFC 25 is scout some of those new nations that weren't in the game before, but we always keep one scout in the country we are playing in for the realism, of course, looking for those homegrown local talents. So for Plymouth in the southwest of the country in Devon, we'll be looking for those great new young talents coming through Devon and see if we can find some players. I don't like how you've got to specify positions now, I'll be honest here, because I really want to cast the biggest net possible. So I mean, they've been leaking goals left, right and centre, Plymouth, so of course we're going to need to get our defence sorted, no doubt about it. So we've got a good tough tackle in CB, and possibly 2 new fullbacks as well. In fact, you know what? Yeah, let's go defensive. For England, tough tackling, CB, RB, LB, and CDM from Devon and see what we can find. And again, because of our small transfer budget, we won't be able to hire the best scouts possible, unfortunately. So we'll have to look for reduced quality scouts, but hopefully they'll still be able to pick up some decent players regardless. I think we just signed a 1, and I might leave that 3rd one until we've sold Gibson to get a bit of money, or Andre Gray as well, of course. I think he was released actually, so for realism, I might have to release him. But where should we send our following scout? And again, Plymouth in Devon right now. Oftentimes I look for the British countries and the Republic of Ireland as well when I'm starting off the lower division, for the realism not going too far afield. But I really want to make use of some of the new nations in the game, so Where should we send this guy? Now, Plymouth have had quite a lot of international players over the years from several different nations, but as a side have never played in the top tier of English football, never played in the Premier League, never played in Europe, never reached an FA Cup or League Cup final, I believe, either. They've mostly looked at homegrown talents, but I want to scout nations that I've either never scouted before or barely scouted before. And to be fair, one nation I think would be really cool would be Hungary, and that's because Plymouth used to have a Hungarian player called Akos Buzaki, who was a real fan favourite for his few years at home park. He ended up staying in English football, moving on to Queen's Park Rangers, but he was a really talented player and got several caps for the Hungarian national team as well. I like to scout nations I don't think I've ever scouted before or barely scouted before, and I can't remember ever scouting Hungary. Maybe I have once before, but I don't remember it. But yeah, we're going to be looking for the next Buzaki at home park, and the Plymouth fans would love him back right now in the situation they're in. He was a really solid midfielder. Let's go for, again, an offensive-based player here. Maybe directly through the middle or maybe on the wings as well, possibly? Yeah, I think that's what we'll do. We'll go an attacking mid /CM/wing. He was a great passer of the ball, Buzaki, creative player, could get forward, could get goals himself as well. And like I said, with Plymouth right now struggling, the next Buzaki at home park, I think the Plymouth fans will be crying out for that right now. So let's bring him in again. Cast the biggest net here in terms of player role and see what our scout can find. As for the third and final scout, because our transfer budget has now been reduced significantly, I'm going to wait until we sold a player so we can afford to sign one of the better youth scouts to our staff. I've always stuck to the same philosophy when it comes down to youth scouting. Yes, we can afford one of these scouts here and they'll cost us very little money, but because their star rating is so bad, they're not going to find us anyone of quality. I stick to the same mantra when it comes down to hiring youth staff. You get what you pay for. Save for the better quality scouts and they'll serve you better in the long run. As for transfers with this Plymouth Argyle side, because of our small budget, I wouldn't expect any new signings in the first season. Any players coming into the team are going to be brought through the youth academy. But the good news is, because our team is so lowly rated, it means that even as teenagers coming through the youth setup, they're probably more than good enough to at least sit on the bench, if not start in this Plymouth Argyle side. So in the first season, there won't be much change to the team. We might sell 2 or possibly 3 players, but we're not going to gut the side out completely because that would be quite unrealistic. But again, if you are going to see some new players in this team in the first season, they'll be coming through the youth academy. I would not expect any, if maybe more than 1 signing in the first season max, I would say. So I've been getting tons of bids for Lewis Gibson, but unfortunately not from the team where I want him to go, which is Preston North End, the club he signed for in real life. Unfortunately, I'm getting a lot of bids, but they're coming from foreign sides, and I want to keep him in to Championship if possible, if I can't get him to Preston North End, just for the realism, but also bids coming in for the captain / player manager now in real life, Joe Edwards, which of course I'll be turning down as well. Realism, as I said earlier, it's something in my saves that I do try to focus on. It's not the main aspect of the save. I do a career mode called the realistic career mode during the course of an FC year anyway, where that is the primary focus, but I do like to try and have an element of realism to my saves if possible. It's unfortunately very difficult to do in career mode though, as we know. Still, if I can't get him to a Championship side, I'll just have to sell him elsewhere. But Andre Gray's been approached by the Dutch side, PEC's Wall. Again, he's been released in real life, but I don't think we have enough money to release him, so I'm just going to have to sell him. At least if nothing else, we'll get a bit of cash as well. But as the first of the month is almost here. There's the Andre Gray sale first, though. The first month is always here. They're almost here. This is going to be really, really important, man. We want to get off to a good start with the youth scouting. Not a lot of good quality here. We want at least 1 decent young talent from our first month of scouting in England and Hungary. Fingers crossed, touch wood, we found a gem. Yep, here we go. Going to stop on the first of the month, and we shall see what we've got from our scout reports in the first batch, and my fingers are crossed. When it's the first, you can't expect too much, but you just never know, man. You just never know. So we got Lance Preston with 56 to 72 potential. It's not a great start, I'll be honest here, but Albie Blackburn could be quite good. That's a bit better. And again, because of the fact we just haven't got much quality, I might just throw him straight in anyway and see what he's like. Isaac Slater, Dylan Andrews isn't going to make it, and neither is Ronnie Anderson. So one from England possibly, and from Hungary, Songor Sus could be quite good. Suto's not going to make it. Akos Toff potential could be alright. Overall is shocking though. And as for Zalan Sabo at the bottom, well, 54-72 overall to begin with, a bit of pace as well. Yeah, I'm going to throw him into the academy as well. To be fair, Songos Seuss looks quite good as well. So we'll have a look at those two lads in the youth academy to begin with. Because it's the first month, basically, the longer you scout a player, the better idea you have on just how good they're going to be. But Blackburn already is 63 overall. So I think he's good enough to get a pro deal already here. I mean, the potential range is, again, massive. The longer you wait, the closer the range becomes. You can have a better idea of how good they're going to be. But he's already good enough to check if he's got a potential tag or not. So I'm going to throw him straight into the first team. We'll check if he's got potential. Fingers crossed he's got at least showing great potential. That'll be good enough for me to throw him straight in the first team. And he does not. Well, he still might have some kind of potential. It just won't be 80 plus. So basically, potential tags, if you're new for career mode, you'll see it on a player if they've got a certain amount of potential. So they're showing great potential, which is between 81 to 85, I think. There's exciting prospect, which is 86 to 90. Again, I think. And there's potential to be special, which is 91 plus. If you've got a player with potential tag, you know they're going to be a star player in the future. But if they haven't got one, it doesn't mean they're not going to grow at all. They just might fall short of, again, 81. So Blackburn might have 80, 79 potential. We don't know. But we're just going to have to assume it's hopefully something. But again, because the development plan is so... It's going to take so long for him to become a 64 rated player. Yeah, you've got to assume he's not going to have much, which is a shame. But you can increase a player's potential with enough game time and if you keep them happy as well. But as for Blackburn's sake, I think he should play CB, you know. I mean, he's 6'2", he's got good defensive stats. Okay, he's not the best jumper and he's not the best headerer of the ball, but he's already got some okay strength and aggression. I think with Lewis Gibson going to go, yeah, I say convert him to CB. So a little tip as well, if you want to find out a player's best position, is when you're looking at the player in your team management section, if you hover him over the place where you're planning on playing him, you'll be able to see whether he's better suited to that role or not, based on whether he has a plus or a minus next to the player profile. So for example, Blackburn, if we have him at CDM, it's +2. At CB, it's also +2. At right back, for example, it would be neither. So he's just as adept playing CB or CDM. Really, it's our choice. Do I want to convert him to CB or have him at CDM? I think because Gibson's going to go, and I might sell Pleguezello as well. Plus the Icelandic Poulsen is in his 30s too. I think it's probably best just throw him at CB, really. Throw him in. Throw the kid in the back line. Worst defensive record in the division Plymouth have got. And now putting a 17-year-old in the back four. It's sink or swim for Blackburn. And Middlesbrough want to take him on loan as well. Guys, appreciate it, but clearly we need him a lot more than you do, so he's going nowhere. Haven't had a bid for Lewis Gibson yet, which is annoying, but what I'm going to do is, if I can't sell him again to a championship side, I'll sell him elsewhere, but because he no longer plays for Plymouth in real life, I'm banning the usage of Lewis Gibson until we sell him to another team as well, just for the realism alone. So let's play the first game of the season, away at Hillsborough against Sheffield Wednesday, and again with Plymouth right now, bottom of the championship, worst defensive record in the division. All they want in their final run-in in this season is to survive. For us, I'm going to be hoping for a top of the table finish, and possibly trying to sneak into the playoffs as well. We got some quality, man. We got some decent players, and I think we're good enough to be away from the bottom three. We want to get off to a strong start. First game, Sheffield Wednesday away. Let's try and get a win on the board on match day 1. Come on, Plymouth Argyle. So I play on ultimate difficulty with the sliders untouched on 50 as well. I feel like because of the gameplay changes for this year, it's been really good, I must say. I haven't felt the need to change the sliders at all for realistic gameplay. I give EA a lot of props for this year. It's a lot harder than it used to be just to play ticky-tacky football and move the ball around as well, especially when you've got the weather playing an impact too. But go on, mate. Oh, great save early. It's going to be a challenge in the first season, but I think the most important thing is keeping it tight defensively. If we can cut out the mistakes Plymouth have been making in real life with their leaky defense, I think we'll score enough goals, and I think we'll be all right. That's why as the second half gets underway, it's going to be a real fun challenge with the 17-year-old, lowly rated Albie Blackburn thrown into the first 11, trying to tighten up what has been the weakest defence in the championship this season in real life, adding to the challenge with playing with the Pilgrims. But so far, as you're underway for the second half, so good. Sheffield Wednesday have not been inside. With this man Windass, we know he can score from any halfway line as we've seen this season. It's going to be hard to keep him at bay for the full 90. So far, so good. But as we know, the AI and Ultimate, they only need one chance and one shot, and oftentimes that results in the one goal. As for now, though, we're doing all right. As we're saying, I think we'll score enough goals this season. Maybe not. Maybe not. Obviously, Plymouth playing the 4-2-3-1. Might have to adjust tactics at some point if this is not working, but... Oh, side netting. First time they were inside. Again, defensively, apart from that moment there, we've been all right. It's on the other end. Haven't had the chance yet, other than that one in the first half. Starting off with a 0-0 away from home, though. Certainly not too bad, but... Good football, this. He's on. Yes! Oh, what a miss! How did I miss that? What a sitter! Oh, come on, don't lose it now. Don't lose it now. It's always a sucker punch when you had a chance to win it and you end up losing it on the other end. If the Owls score from this, I'll be fuming, man. Yeah, good block there, wouldn't it, mate? And that is going to do it. So, positives, if not all 3 points on the first game, positives, clean sheet and a point away from home. Not many times have the Pilgrims had that sort of result this season in real life. I think we'll do the Walsall game, the League Cup. We'll end the first episode there. Try and get our first goals and our first win on the board this season. So it can get Lewis Gibson to Preston or even an English side in the end. He's going to go join Royal Antwerp for £2.75 million. So we'll get that money in the next episode, and once that sale goes through, we'll use that to reinvest in our third and final youth scout. Really excited for that as we look to send him out for the next episode. So our final game, Walsall EFL Cup, first game at Home Park, and a good cup run, always a welcome distraction to poor league form. So our first ever cup game with Plymouth. Let's make sure we avoid the cup set here and make it through. Come on, the Pilgrims. So Plymouth have never reached a league or FA Cup final in the entirety of the club's history. I often talk about, as we should have had our first goal to save there, things I've never done in career mode before. I've never reached a domestic cup final with a side outside the top tier before. If I could do that in season 1 with Plymouth, whether we make the playoffs or not, I'd call that an amazing first year. But if we are going to do that, we need to get some goals. Still haven't hit the back of the net yet. Maybe I was wrong. It's not defense where we'll have our main problems this season. It's in front of goal. So when we get our new scout for the next episode... Oh, this time. This time. There we go. Wherever we send him, happy for comment suggestions on what country we scout with that next scout coming in the next episode. We're definitely going to need to look for a new striker. There's our first goal, though, coming through to Jani. Well, I have to say, for the second game in a row, not exactly the greatest contest, but in cup football, goal difference means nothing in one-legged affair, and thus a 1-0 is enough for us to get our first win of the season and put us through to the next round. And the most surprising thing about this start of the season, back-to-back clean sheets. I'm not sure Plymouth have done that in the entire season thus far in real life. But I'll do it for this season opener, guys. Big fan. You're fortunate you've enjoyed it. If you have, then please do drop a like. So you'll have a fantastic day. And we'll return in the next one with the money coming in for the Gibson sale. We'll hire that third scout, send him out, play more games in the Championship, and see who we've got in the next round of the League Cup, as well as bringing in some more youth players. Have a great day. Much love. And I'll see you for the next episode of the RTG Career Mode very soon.